Question: does November 18, 2022 have any significant meaning in your life? Well, it may not be in yours, but for the previous MVP Cody Bellinger, it does. It's been over a year since Cody Bellinger was non-tendered by the Los Angeles Dodgers, and it feels like he's had one of the craziest comeback stories in recent years when it comes to the MLB. Cody Bellinger was somehow able to become one of baseball's best outfielders in 2023 after being one of baseball's worst outfielders in the previous 2 years. Matter of fact, because of Bellinger reforming back to his kind of prime self, he seems to be looking at getting a monster deal from pretty much any MLB team that can afford him. But before I can explain how Cody Bellinger became one of MLB's top free agents, we must start at the beginning. When Cody Bellinger first hit the scene, he was drafted late in the 4th round. He worked his way up the minor league ladder and became a top-ranked prospect that seemed to be the next big thing for an already existing Dodgers team that was really freaking good. The Dodgers were fighting for number 1 in their division and were a stacked baseball team with MLB talent like Justin Turner, Jock Peterson, Corey Seager, and Yasiel Puig to spark some nostalgia. But Bellinger didn't get his opportunity to really show his potential until Jock Peterson was put on the injury list, allowing Bellinger to get some playtime. When Bellinger first came up, people were comparing him to his teammate Corey Seager, who seemingly had similar success to him when first showing up for the Dodgers. An article written by Jorge L. Ortiz by USA Today in 2017 describes how people viewed Bellinger at the time. 11 games do not a phenomenon make, but the prodigious start to Cody Bellinger's career portends well for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Bellinger, 21, has 5 home runs in those 11 games. During 2017, Bellinger was performing so well he was in a category of his own, alongside some of baseball's greatest players in that era. Bellinger was on fire, and manager at the time Dave Roberts didn't want Bellinger coming off the field once Peterson ended up returning. Bellinger went on to end his rookie season with a .267 average, a .352 on-base percentage, a .581 slug, and an OPS plus of 143. In Bellinger's rookie year, he proved that he was 43% better than your average MLB player. The dude mashed 39 home runs as a rookie, and 39, man, can we think about that? That's an insane number. He also played all over the outfield, including some first base here and there. He picked up the Rookie of the Year award while being in an MLB All-Star and coming in 9th in MVP voting. 2017 Bellinger was a taste of what was to come in his future MVP season. 2019, the year Cody Bellinger became the face of the Dodgers and one of MLB's most marketable guys. I mean, come on, you're telling me you've never been on something like this guy before? Bellinger had fun this season, and it showed in his everyday play. Bellinger made vast improvements after coming off of playing a whole MLB season in 2018, and those improvements led to a successful MVP campaign. What was Bellinger lacking, you might be asking yourself? Well, in 2018, Bellinger found himself in a platoon role due to struggling a ton against lefty pitching. Then in the following winter, before 2019, Bellinger worked with a new hitting coach, Robert Van Scoyoc, and found a more comfortable and consistent stance. He responded with 18 home runs, 44 RBIs, and a .982 OPS against lefties in 19, compared to his 6 homers, 25 RBIs, and a .681 OPS the year prior. This was one of the biggest benefactors that pushed Cody Bellinger over the edge. It was enough to help him beat Christian Yelich in such a competitive MVP race. At the end of 2019, Bellinger ended up winning himself a triple crown and an MVP at the age of 24. 24 years of age, one of the youngest ever to ever do it. He ended up ending the season with a .305 average, a .406 OBP, a .629 slug, and an OPS of 167, and a .035 OPS. He also added a Golden Glove in an All-Star selection and a Silver Slugger award alongside such a dominant year. And not to mention, he smashed 47 home runs, beating his previous best in his rookie year. Alongside that, he gained a total of 8.6 WAR, which is his highest ever in his career. When Cody ultimately won his award, he had this to say.
A little emotional, so it's pretty cool.
Why is it emotional?
It's what you dream of, man, for sure.
But how can a man so high at a peak fall so low after coming off an amazing 2019 MVP campaign? Unfortunately, even if it doesn't seem like it, Cody Bellinger is human just like the rest of us. And when you play a professional sport, sometimes you get injured, battered, and bruised. One day in 2020, Cody Bellinger hit a nuke of a home run during the National League Championship Series, and while celebrating, he leaped into the air and dislocated his right shoulder while bumping into his teammate. Cody went on to win a World Series ring with the Dodgers that year, but that wasn't something that was really on the mind of Cody Bellinger at the moment. See, Cody had to have surgery or else it was over for his MLB career. After the surgery, Cody didn't seem to notice any type of issues with his shoulder until late 2021. Bellinger told this to ESPN during the time. "I came back as soon as possible from it," meaning the injury, "not knowing anything. I never dealt with an injury. I never thought how surgery would really affect me. Didn't even know what it did until later on in the year 2021. And when I did some one-handed drills, I was like, I had no idea where anything with the shoulder is right now." 2021 and 2022 were not Bellinger's years. The injury hiccups started to catch up to him, and his play in general started to deteriorate alongside the strength of his body and his mindset at the plate. Strikeouts were an issue for Bellinger in his rookie season. He struck out 26.6% of the time, but Bellinger pared that number all the way down to 16.4% during his MVP year in 2019. Following his surgery, Bellinger's strikeout rate ballooned back to 27.1% in 2021 to 2022. He also saw a massive spike in his chase rate on pitches off the plate, 26.8% in 2019 and 34.8% in 2021 to 2022. He was once the Dodgers' famed star that would look to take on the reins for the Dodgers for years to come and hopefully win another MVP. But that famed Dodgers star started to die out. Eventually, we started to see diehard fans and people just in general in the MLB world start to claim that Bellinger should be DFA'd at the end of 2022. Cody at the time seemed to be a baseball all-star that seemingly hit his peak, and that one injury was going to set Cody back for life. Eventually, on November 18, 2022, the news broke out that the Dodgers decided to let Cody Bellinger become a free agent and no longer represent the Dodger Blue. At the time, this decision seemed like a right one for the fans and just for the team in general. If the Dodgers wanted to bring in other options that could produce better numbers than Bellinger's lackluster couple of seasons, this was the time to do it. But this minor setback didn't allow Bellinger to be discouraged. Matter of fact, he was kind of stunned when he heard the news. It was only the beginning of the new era of Cody Bellinger that we know today in 2023. Funny enough, Cody Bellinger's career was not only saved by his play this year, but also his agent Scott Boras. To many, Boras might be a bit extreme when it comes to representing his players, but Boras had this to say to the Cubs to convince them to sign Bellinger. "The point I made to Cubs president Jed and others is when a player has a 1. OPS and a .900 OPS seasons and never below .800 and is Rookie of the Year and MVP all in 3 years and then had a 550 and 650 OPS, it's obviously not skill." Boras said it's a lack of shoulder strength due to his surgery. After Boras explained this to Cubs president, he believed that a healthy Cody is a 5-tool MVP Cody. Cody ended up signing with the Cubs for a 1-year, $17.5 million guaranteed deal. This was a huge gamble because Cody was looked at as someone that could get a mega dollar contract before his steep decline. Also, signing with another big market team would lead to some constant media pressing against him if he wasn't going to have a good enough season yet again. Personally, I love this deal for Cody Bellinger, especially with the idea of the Cubs really trying to push for the playoffs in 2023. I even made a video about it when I first started out this channel when they signed Dansby Swanson and Cody Bellinger in a relatively same time. I love the idea of Bellinger being that wild card on a 2023 Cubs team that was really taking a chance on any players that they could. They were looking at the upside, and that upside showed in Cody Bellinger's tenure. In the first half of Bellinger's Cubs tenure, he slashed a .298 average, a .355 OBP, and a .491 slug in 58 games. At this point in time, Bellinger was looked at as one of baseball's most likely trade candidates at the 2023 trade deadline that is to come in August the following month. Bellinger revitalized himself before the All-Star break and showed that when healthy, he could play baseball a lot better than your average MLB player. Matter of fact, after the All-Star break, his stats were even better. He had a .313 average, a .367 OBP, and a slug of .552 after the All-Star break. He eventually didn't get traded, and the Cubs thought he would stick around just to see if they can make that playoff run a reality. And unfortunately, the Cubs' energy just in general fizzled out. However, Cody Bellinger was seriously a big benefactor to a Cubs team that really needed some pop in their lineup. He mashed 26 home runs with a .307 average and an OPS in the higher 800s. Cody Bellinger was back, baby, and that's all that mattered. Bellinger ended up winning a Silver Slugger at the end of this year with this sort of stat line. It was pretty obvious that Bellinger was going to decline his club's option, which would be beneficial for seeing how the Cubs would need someone to fill in that space for a year until Pete Crow Armstrong was ready, and Bellinger just needed enough time to prove that he was a good enough MLB player that deserved some type of love in the MLB free agent market. Bellinger played a really fun year of baseball in 2023 and really made it seem like Bellinger has a bright future ahead of him as long as injuries don't deteriorate deteriorate his life. I think Bellinger is in for a surprise this MLB free agency, and I think he'll get a really decent contract. I don't think he's going to get a $300 to $500 million contract, but I think he'll sit behind or near close enough to the $100 million range for the next couple of years. Personally, I think it would be very, very fun to see Bellinger take on a 2 to 5 year contract to see if he could renegotiate his contract in free agency after 5 years and maybe have a little bit of a Cody Bellinger sweepstakes once again. Personally, I love Cody Bellinger's attitude and just overall vibe as a baseball player, and like many others, I would love to have him on my favorite baseball team for the next few years. Do you guys think Bellinger is going to continue to play really well, or was this just a one-off season? Let me know in the comment section down below. And with that being said, this is how Cody Bellinger became one of baseball's top free agents. Thank you guys for watching. If you made this far, please leave a like and subscribe. Have a great day when you're watching this, or night. Please be safe. Bye.